All right, we are back. Oh no, where'd Kyle go? Oh, that's too bad. Kyle had to go to bed, ladies and gentlemen. Some people need sleep. Not me. I'm good, but you know. But we are into the draft here. DRU versus TNC. Made it just in time for that first Tassadar pick. I mean, let's be honest. Who really needs to see the bands and that long timer to get around to the Tassadar? Towers of Doom is going to be our first map here for Donkeys R Us versus TNC. DRU, TNC. Greymane and Genji coming out here as the response picks. I really like Genji on this map. Kind of your pseudo-global. He's just so mobile. He's able to get around to all these different shrines. Good interrupt potential between those shurikens and the ranged basic attacks. Not to mention the dash. Greymane also able to interrupt with the cocktail. One of the main premiums on Towers of Doom is the ability to make sure that you're having some sort of ranged interrupt poke potential to be able to stop the cast of these altars. Bell tower damage also a priority. Probably going to end up seeing some wave clear potential along with quite possibly going after some good siege damage. Wave clear always a big plus, not only on this map but on pretty much every map in Heroes of the Storm. But being able to get the level advantage early is a really big deal here as well. And we're going to see Vala Ario coming out, so right away going with that Trinity, trying to focus on getting the Vala out here early. Not a big shocker. And I apologize about that, guys. There is a delay. You are going to be able to see the draft in a couple of moments, I promise. I wouldn't let you miss that. I am, however, having some technical difficulties over here, so I apologize. These teams are ready to go, man. They were gonna not wait on me, I'll tell you. So off we go into the back half of this draft. Absolutely, Kyle. My pleasure to have you with us tonight. It was a great job in that first set. But you're right, it is definitely getting late, especially for you guys on the East Coast. I don't blame you guys for heading on off to bed. But hey, you know, us West Coasters, we're going to hold it on down. Not unlike another team I know. The Mouthail band coming out here from Donkeys R Us. Let's see, I seem to have lost our brackets. That's not what I want to hear. So the winner of this is going to go on tomorrow to face Hold It Down. So Donkeys R Us definitely the favored in this matchup against Team Numerics. But in general, you know, again, we saw Team Numerics perform pretty well in that last set. And this is their first tournament, so it's kind of hard to see what we're going to end up with here. So we do have Abathur coming out as the Hover, the potential ban here for the side of TNC. Two more picks coming up here for Donkeys R Us. Still need that frontliner. Still looking for a healer. Stukov and Uther off the board at this point, along with Ariel. So they've got a couple of good options. Again, we do like heroes here on Towers of Doom that have the poke ability, have the long distance ranged poke. So we could end up seeing the Malfurion being a factor here. But more likely, we're probably going to end up seeing a Rhaegar. The Stitches is going to come out first of all. They don't have to prioritize the healer here. With Tassadar and Ariel on the other side, they are indeed going to wait and let that support be the last pickup. As Stitches and Dahaka coming out here. So interesting pick for Stitches. Does have a couple of good targets on the other side already to try and hit with the hook. And with the Genji and the Greymane. They have good collapsibility, even to Haka Drag for the follow-up at this point. But the counter-engage is here. Arthas and Zol going to be the pickups for the side of Team Numerics. Good lockdown potential there as well. The slows really able to enable Vala to get a lot more damage out with the auto attack. And it is going to be the Rhaegar. No big shocker there. The Ancestral Healing, just too strong. Or are we going to see Bloodlust? No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to see Bloodlust. Let's be honest here. But we are indeed going to see Game 1 here. Towers of Doom. I do like the comp coming out from Donkeys R Us, but they are going to depend a lot on the hooks. So we'll have to see if they are able to execute. Because, you know, these guys executing, I mean, come on. Of course they're going to execute. Give me a break. They're Donkeys R Us, for crying out loud. I want to thank both of these teams for coming out, having me in. I think I'm actually sort of co-casting this with Caldor, but not really. So, looks like he's actually got that also going up on his stream as well. So you can check this out here, there, pretty much everywhere. This is, I think, the last couple matches of the night. But definitely a pleasure to be in for both of these teams.
Prepare yourself for battle.
On the left, we have Donkeys R Us. Jin going to be playing the Stitches. Picante on the Genji. LAM on the Rhaegar. Lazy Gamer is going to be playing the Greymane. And Spiceblade on the Dahaka. On the right, Team Numerics with Flyest Raven on the Tassadar. Sirius is going to be playing the Zol. Caesar Salad on the Ariel. Vin is going to be playing the Vala. And hanging back here is Falst on the Arthas. Right away, seeing the pause come out. And you know, that's how it goes sometimes. Get that insta DC. Fight. Looks like everybody's back in. Everybody's going to start heading towards the mid. Giving us a little extra time for good old-fashioned introductions. Darn it, I'd already finished mine. What the heck? Right away, we see lane priority coming out here from the side of Donkeys R Us. But the rotation strategy is going to be real here. Zol's going to be rotating all over this map, trying to make sure to get as many of those bone skeletons out as possible. But Gante going to jump up, trying to follow up the drag from Sliceblade, and is going to end up getting that kill onto Zol. Faust also in a lot of trouble, but he's going to be able to walk his way on out, getting the extra slows there from his aura. But Jin not going too far here, waiting for those minions to go down. The drag is on. Stitch is just going to come in, but ends up getting that last minion with the hook. And yet again, Arthas is able to walk away in the bottom lane. We've got our Holy Trinity down here. But we do see Picante, part of the action once again, rotating all the way across the map to try and help Lazy Gamer and LAM answer to this. LZ Gamer trying to get the poke back out, but so far being dominated in the rotation by this double healer. They are able to secure this bottom lane pretty well. We are also going to see the altars activating here. Get those 3 altar phases in the 1st and 5th altar. Caesar Salad gets hooked, and the collapse is real. They are going to be able to get themselves a pick here, trying to create a little bit of space with that detainment strike, but it's not going to be enough. And all of a sudden, Vala is gone. The battery is useless. Flyest Raven living dangerously. I too like to live dangerously, just so you know, Flyest Raven. But he does go ahead and get in get the interrupt, stalling just a little bit, giving Zol a little bit more time to do his thing in the top lane. But Picante, not really a fan of this thing that he's doing in the top lane. Neither is Sliceblade for that matter. They are going to go ahead and hit the drag, and that pseudo global really paying off for him here. The armor comes down, but it's not going to be enough. Picante able to get that pick, but on the other side, Greymane gets picked in the bottom lane as they are able to walk in and steal the camp. So nice counter rotation here from the side of TNC. You see LAM taking a ton of damage there on the poke. I think that's what I like to call a baiting B. Members of TNC smart enough to not get baited by that aggressive back there by Rhaegar, with the rotation coming in from the side of Donkeys R Us. What you see in the mid lane here, Arthas, Dahaka going at it. Rotation here, really huge rotation coming in, as LZ Gamer is going to be in a lot of trouble, hopping in, hopping back out, trying to stay out of reach of the damage dealers here. And indeed is able to get far enough away from the Vala. Meanwhile, the Vala kited all over the place. Is going to end up being the worst for wear out of that exchange. And all of a sudden, Camp going over to the side of Donkeys R Us. And they're going to end up with a level lead at the end of all this soaking. We've got a lot more to soak here in the top lane. It's going to be pretty close, though. Both these teams hitting 7 virtually at the same time, right before this mid-altar spawns. And with just a 4 core health lead here for the side of Donkeys R Us, both teams still very much alive in this matchup. Huge flanking position being shown there by Falst. I mean, I tell you, if ever there was a name, just hoping to trip up the casters, there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Do not let
Donkeys R Us.
Reach the altars.
I don't need this one. Just gonna step back, get the soak on, get this top camp, and try and push it into top here. Guiding it on in. Sirius coming in, trying to get the zone there. But we are going to see all of these sappers make it through. In the bottom lane, Vala ends up falling again to the counter rotation. Nice 3-man bot rotation here, countering the 3-man. The hook does not land, but the drag will land on Caesar Salad. Picante is here to try and help finish this off. He is able to dash in and dash out. Picante showing off the moves here, showing why Genji is always a first ban in this meta right now, and why Overwatch is obviously the most beloved game by Heroes of the Storm players everywhere. Flyest Raven doing what he can to try and push this back then back on the field. Both teams grabbing their camps. A little bit of a grab advantage there by the side of Donkeys R Us coming off the heels of those picks. Also about a half level lead at this point as they're starting to head into level 10. They're able to clear these up here, but here they come down onto Flyest Raven. He's able to dimensional shift on out of here. And level 10s have been achieved from both teams here. It is going to be Dragon Blade, no shocker there. Cursed Bullet coming out for the Greymane. Tassadar still holding his pick here. Not quite showing exactly what they're doing. Poison Nova coming out from the Zol. So they're looking to counter this dive, punish the dive ability over on the side of Donkeys R Us by getting all that poison out. Shocker to not see Resurrect here. No, it is going to be Crystal Aegis. Why wouldn't you go Crystal Aegis? Dive heavy comp. Definitely want that Aegis. Disappointed to not see Bloodlust. But you can't always get what you want. Flyest Raven will go ahead and get the Storm to stall. And it is going to be Wall coming in. Jin getting isolated. We see the Poison Nova coming out. Dragon Blade to try and get the counter damage out. But Picante getting pretty low here. And LEM is going to need some time to be able to bring him up. But Dahaka not going to be able to get that. And all of a sudden, TNC find themselves a big win here. And gonna even up the scoreboard, or is gonna actually take a lead on the scoreboard here. They're also gonna be able to push in this bottom lane, get the bell tower, and that is a big, big win for the side of TNC. Sorry about the camera issues there, folks. Alt tabbing. Swear to God. But we do see the rotation in here to the mid. They are going to continue applying the pressure. Is TNC. And the hook onto Arthas at this point. Not going to be able to follow it up just yet as the side of Donkeys R Us. A couple members down there in the bot lane, making sure they can try and get back that bottom bell tower. They do successfully do so. We're going to move on to their camp. Arthas is going to be able to scout this out, but just a bit too late here. However, what's not too late is the rotation here. Or is it? The turnaround. Picante getting a ton of damage out with that Dragon Blade. The AoE damage is real. Crystal Aegis falling down onto Arthas. We'll be able to keep him up. The Ancestral Healing actually ends up going out on the Stitches. Not exactly the target you want to hit with that one, maybe Picante, but the hook is going to end up securing them at least one kill on the heels of this team fight, and give them the opportunity to rotate across here and grab the opposing sappers and start to put some real damage on this bot lane. The hook coming out onto Flyest Raven, and he is completely blown up there. Camp going to be stolen. Altars activating. It's a good time to get a pick onto that Tassadar. This Tassadar is not going to be up quite in time for this one. I'm going to push the rest of those in. A little bit of damage out onto the bell tower itself. Double altar spawn here in the bottom lane. LAM going to be looking to get this cast off. And look at this. Picante in the top lane actually going up and grabbing those sappers to counter push. Dahaka, Slice Blade down here, ends up getting the cast for free. The hook onto Cyrus, the Cursed Bullet to follow it up. The dive in, Aegis is in time. They are able to get the healing out. The Poison Nova follows it up here. Detainment Strike to be able to secure the stun on Dahaka, but it is Zol that ends up going down first. They finish off that kill that they started seemingly 5 or 6 seconds earlier into the team fight. And yet, so many members low here for the side of Donkeys R Us. They're not quite able to secure this yet, but they realize it's a 4v5. They are going in. LAM is going to fall, but Picante getting a ton of damage out with that huge Dragon Blade. Going to be rushing in, cleaning up the whole team. A 5-for-1 exchange on this bell tower, or on this altar, I should say, and the bell tower is going to be under a little bit of siege too. But looks like Zol's going to be up in time to at least clear here in the top. Start getting the clear out as soon as they see Zol in the top, and 4 members dead. Here comes LZ Gamer and Picante trying to get this bell tower down, and they will be able to successfully do so. Get out safely, and now they will go secure themselves a bell tower. Get these points a little bit of an advantage for them. 28-23 right now, favoring Donkeys R Us. 2-level lead, really the bigger factor here. As you start to snowball that XP advantage, it can really become a big factor later in the game as these altars start to come up and you start to not really be able to contest due to being down talent tiers. But level 16 should be achievable here for TNC if they're able to soak properly. Right now, 5 members, though, all dedicated to this bot lane. And just enough members here of DRU to be dangerous. They do have Dahaka in the top grabbing that camp, but he can always brush stalker his way on in. They're trying to push in these sappers. They've got 3. 1 is right on that line, but Vin gonna go ahead and pop the strafe. Is able to get them cleared up. Flyest Raven gets hooked, however. Picante goes in. Gets the kill. That's gonna work out pretty well for them.
I've opened my tunnel as well.
The tunnel's opening up to that mid lane, and right now the full defense here, they weren't able to score any of those extra sappers. And the hook a little bit wide there from Jin. The turn actually onto Picante. LZ Gamer, though, going to turn around. Meanwhile, Zol gets picked off in that top lane against Dahaka. And now they're going to be pushing in these sappers in the bot once again, trying to get him. Arthas actually having to be right at that moment. So this could end up being free sappers. 3 of them going up. That's going to even out the bell tower, the core damage to 20. 8-point lead here. All the while, Slice Blade doing work in this top lane. And here comes the triple altar phase. 23 seconds for the side of TNC to even this up. Get to 16. 18 going to be achieved on the other side, though, for DRU. So you can't count out that 8% health and damage bonus that they're going to be looking at. They're looking at maybe grabbing this camp to have a little bit of split pressure as well. LZ Gamer going to grab that. And looks like they're going to completely concede the bottom and instead go for the top here is DRU. So they're going to give them the 1. Or are they? Yes, they will. 3-man rotation to the bottom, not quite in time. However, Sirius trying to stall out this top altar. Could be a dangerous situation for him. Slice Blade is going to get in there with the drag, completely negating that Bone Prism. And Picante able to help out with the finish. Meanwhile, the full push here from TNC, they realize that altar is forfeit. They're going to go ahead and grab this bell tower in response. But have they gone too far is the question. The counter rotation in here. Stitches actually had fallen down here. LAM is going to end up going down to the strafe. But Picante, yet again, coming in with a huge Dragon Blade. LZ Gamer hits the Cursed Bullet. Slice Blade comes down with that Brush Shocker to be able to outnumber him here. Very nice job here from the side of DRU.
Red team.
Flyest Raven falling as well here. All in all, a 2-for-4 exchange. 2 for 5, actually. Zol dying earlier. So, huge kill advantage going over to the side of Donkeys R Us so far in this one. They've just been out team fighting him. The rotations have been good, but the team fights have been immaculate from DRU. They've been taking advantage everywhere on the map. They have not only the global in Dahaka to also help them rotate around this map, but also the pseudo global in the Genji. So they've been a little bit more mobile. They've been they've been showing us that they're willing to trade, making sure that they get plenty of damage out with the Rhaegar and the healing. And as soon as the Ancestral falls, you know, it doesn't really matter if Rhaegar makes it to the end of that team fight. They have been trading incredibly well in these team fights. And here's where the level advantage really starts to rear its ugly head as the bell tower falls to those sappers in the top lane. Level 20 already here for the side of DRU. So they are not really going to be able to contest this very well. They're going to give it a shot, though. The hook dodged there
Time is now, heroes.
by the invulnerability there from the Tassadar. They try to start to cast, but Picante is going to get in there. It's actually Bone Prism, but the cleanse coming out from LAM. And all of a sudden, a huge Putrid Bile coming out from Jin, and the Dragon Blade is going to be here to clean up. The Strafe is going to end up getting taken down.
Red team.
And that is going to be double bell tower and the boss going over to the side of DRU. Doing the math here, that seems like it's probably going to be the end of the game, ladies and gentlemen. DRU winning it 24-0, taking game 1 here on Towers of Doom. $25 kills to 5. Just in general, winning the team fights, winning pretty much every exchange on the map throughout the back half of the game. As soon as they started really taking advantage of their superior rotations, and I really liked a lot of what I saw from them. They were able to do a really nice job with that one. I'm not sure how I feel about the Arthas Zol frontline for the Trinity. Not quite enough to be able to deter the dive potential from Picante and LZ Gamer. That Genji Greymane combo, the dive was real. Dahaka, a lot of times getting good flanking angles. And when they couldn't get the angles, they would get the hooks to create those angles for engagements. So I really like a lot of what DRU had built there. And me personally, I'm not sold on the Zol yet. I'm going to have to see more in more situations, but so far I haven't been liking a lot of what I've been seeing from the Zol. So I'll have to see if that continues or not. Looking at the talents here for a moment. The Poison Nova, I think, was a really interesting call. I don't think he would have gotten any more advantage out of the skeletal mages there. In reality, they are a decent zoning tool, but the Poison Nova did get, I feel like, a decent amount of AoE spread damage along with the strafe. The walls was an interesting call, trying to zone some of them out with that force wall. I think, in theory, it's a good strategy, but Greymane, Genji, they can just dive right over. I think even Rhaegar's basic attack coming from that wolf form can maybe even wolf over those walls. So at the end of the day, I'm not sure how effective Force Wall really was there. The extra damage might have helped, but Isolation taking on the Dahaka. Huge Dragon Blades coming out from Conte throughout that match. LZ Gamer just slapping people around with that Cursed Bullet pre-nerf, mind you. I think the 5% is really going to make that big a difference. And yeah, I think they got the right healer for the job as well. Rhaegar providing good solid healing. Huge shout out to the Tidal Waves choice. Definitely going to get a lot more value in this one than the Earth Shield. I really like the Tidal Waves coming out there. So we are going to be setting up game number 2 from both of these teams. Let me quickly check out what exactly is going on in the world of game 2s here in this series. Picante, I don't like playing Genji. It's not Li Ming. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it didn't look like he was having any fun in that one. I mean, really. I would say for the record that I'm currently in the same lobby as Caldor, so that's really something. Caldor doesn't remember meeting Picante at dorm. That does feel bad. That's a bummer. Well, it looks like map 2, they're going to be taking us to Tomb of the Spider Queen. Looks like we're going to be starting up this draft at any moment. It's like everybody hitting those R buttons not to hit their ultimates, but to show us that they're ready. And indeed we are. Moving on to Tomb of the Spider Queen. DRU up 1-0 over TNC. Donkeys are us. Definitely showing us the moves here so far, but it's not too late. We still see Team Numeric make a comeback in this one. Saw a lot of promising plays coming from them early in that last one. I will say that in general, I think DRU is probably one of, if not the strongest teams here in HGC Open. So in general, it's really nice to get to see this amazing play coming out from them so far. First band coming out, Uther right away. No big shocker there. Tomb of the Spider Queen, not necessarily one of Uther's best maps, but I think Uther doesn't really have a bad map. He does get a lot of value in the rotation from being able to supply that armor early in the game, really enabling the team to be able to go in pretty deep after picks, not to mention the CC that he adds. You know, I'd love to see a Genji ban here, but DRU was the one that was really walking all over everyone with it. But it's just hard to allow Genji to really be able to clean up in these games. It's I'm not going to use the word I'm not going to say that it's a crime, but it's definitely a pretty devastating thing to have to deal with. And they are going to go ahead and go with the Ariel ban, so they're going to let the Genji possibly slide through here to the side of TNC. The question is, do they have anybody confident enough to play on it? They don't snap pick it, so you know they're thinking about it, whether or not they want to take it here. Again, it's just kind of hard to just let it through, though. They are going to elect to go back to the Zol. Very interesting. You know, I'm actually happy to continue to see the Zol picks coming out, because I really want to see more of how this Zol is, how the new Zol is doing in these team fights. I feel like his big weakness before was that he doesn't add a lot to the team fight nature of these games. And so far, you know, I haven't seen a whole lot to really turn my opinion around. I think he's better in the team fight, but I still don't think he brings a whole lot to it. So we'll see if maybe TNC can change my opinion on Zol, the direction that it's been going. Meanwhile, 2 picks coming out here. Donkeys are us. Stukov coming out right away, along with the Gul'dan. So right away, they're going for sustain. Gul'dan, one of the best sustained damage in the game. Stukov, also probably the strongest sustained healer in the game right now. I think Ariel might surpass him with certain hope generation situations, but in general, it's all about the Stukov. So definitely some strong heals coming out. Going to counter the ability for the Zol and company here to be able to quickly take down a target without at least getting some burst healing coming out from the other end. The silence really, really strong. So it does look like TNC is going to go ahead and go into the Stitches themselves. And Stitches is all over the place, man. I'm starting to think it might just be Pool Party and that new skin, but in general... Zilria with the host, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Grant us strength.
It's been a while since I've seen you. I've been seeing you playing a little bit of that Stardew Valley. Man, I love that game. Thank you for the host, much appreciated. Welcome everybody. Going into HGC Open Division game number 2. Our top ranked team in HGC Open right now, Donkeys are us. Going up against Team Numeric, TNC. Malfurion, the follow-up to the Stitches. Not a big shocker there. The double root power is strong. Very strong. With that Stitches follow-up. The question is, what are they going to pick later in this draft to really help blow up? They have pretty decent wave clear so far. Stitches is one of the best wave clear tanks in the game. Zol's wave clear is kind of unrivaled in Heroes of the Storm, and Malfurion Again, you know, in the world of supporting, pretty much unrivaled in wave clear. And, you know, that's kind of what this map is all about, Tomb of the Spider Queen, where it's all about wave clear and the mercs don't matter. Genji finally getting banned. You know, Genji made it through so far in this draft. I'm kind of shocked. Well, we didn't see him coming out a little quicker. It's Greymane being hovered here by the side of TNC. You take out Genji and you take out Greymane, and that's a lot of what made me scared from what we saw of Donkeys R Us last game. I'm not saying that's the only heroes they're good with, ladies and gentlemen. They're very good with a lot of different heroes. But when you're playing this game in a best-of-3 series, you don't want to get beat up by the thing that just beats you up. They are instead going to let the Malthael end up being the ban here and let the Greymane through, possibly, to see if that's the direction that DRU wants to go in. They've got good wave clear so far with the Gul'dan. Stukov, not exactly what I would call great wave clear, but he's got good sustain to be able to help out. To be able to at least help you stay in lane and get the waves cleared. Thinking long and hard about these next two picks. There are a couple different strategies that you can employ against a Stitches. First of all, having mobile heroes that can just jump away is good, but also having hard engage, which is what they're going to do here, is a good way to counter the Stitches hooks. Once one of your heroes gets hooked, you just go in on him. Easy peasy. So Diablo, Greymane going to be the pickups here. And the Cho Call coming out here on Tomb of the Spider Queen with a Malfurion healer. Well, you know, that's a draft. That's a selection. I don't really know what to say about that one. Cursed Bullet. Diablo later game also has a good percentage-based damage. I suppose that's what the Malthael ban was all about. So what is this last pick gonna be? Could be a Leoric, possibly. They could still go into the Tychus, but that makes them kind of backline heavy. I think I like Leo above all else. A good solo laner, a good counter to Cho'Gall, but wow. I'm worried for the life of this Cho'Gall. There's a lot of focus damage, and they are going to go with a Numerics, so they're going to use the web wrap to try and counter. Most likely web wrapping the Cho'Gall, turning this instantly into a 3v5, and then trying to go in on him from there. You know, I'm gonna have to call it here that I think DRU's probably got this one off the draft. But you know, I've been known to be wrong before. You know, TNC might be able to still pull this one out. Who knows? Who knows? Cho'Gall does give you a lot of interrupt potential when trying to guard against the turn-ins. I'll tell you what, that Cho'Gall did not take them long to pick that up. I feel like they had that in their minds for a while. I was surprised. Whole 11 seconds looking at the replay on the delayed stream. We are loading in here onto Tomb of the Spider Queen. Game number 2. Donkeys R Us up 1-0. On the left, they are your blue team with Slice Blade. Going to be playing the Greymane. Picante on the Gul'dan. LAM going to be playing the Stukov. Jin on Diablo. And LZ Gamer on the Numerics. On the right, TNC, Team Numeric. Going to be looking to bring this one to an even standstill here. And we're going to see Fastvin going to be playing Cho'Gall. Flyest Raven going to be on the Zol. Sirius on the Stitches. And Caesar Salad going to be playing the Malfurion. Right away, both teams heading to the mid. WrestleMania. Not very active thus far. But Fastvin Oh, and the huge hook and the follow-up coming out onto Slice Blade. He is able to escape, though. Jin, however, not quite so lucky. Went in maybe a little bit too deep to try to save him. But right away, we start to see what this comp is meant to do. They're still basing it on the Stitches hooks, but they're assuming that Cho'Gall is going to be enough follow-up to be able to really make this work with that Stitches hook. So they do send the Stitches, oddly enough, to the bottom to be their solo laner. I mean, I guess they want the Zol in the 4-man rotation for the skeletal minions. And they want the Cho'Gall in the 4-man for the wave clear. I think maybe Cho'Gall might be the best answer, but Stitches also not a bad answer. The root is coming in onto June. Caesar Salad actually missing the follow-up root, but that's not going to matter. Fastfin still gets in and gets the Diablo kill. And, you know, maybe TNC knew something I didn't. But actually, let me apologize. I didn't quite get that changed over quick enough for you guys. My B. Silence coming down onto Sirius. LAM with the rotation down here. You get the stun out onto Sirius, but he's going to be able to heal himself back up with the use of that well. Gul'dan, ooh, getting picked in that top lane. So far, 3-0 for the side of TNC on the kill count. You know, Cho'Gall's been very, very popular, I believe, in Korea, if my memory serves me correctly. Seeing a lot of Cho'Gall lately. I don't quite know why that is, per se, but the root coming down onto Jin. Flyest Raven still working that rotation. Picante trying to get the damage out. They're playing scared right now, to be honest. They are losing this rotation pretty hard. The middle wall completely gone here. The top wall also has been under siege pretty regularly throughout this one. 2-man rotation to the bot. They're going to go ahead and grab the siege camp, but this rotation, they are waiting. They are waiting for them to come up into this turn-in zone, waiting for somebody to rotate around the aggressive way. Fastfin, I'm going to go ahead and drop his gems here. Actually gets interrupted there by LZ Gamer. You see the root coming out. I'd rather hear it. Jin getting caught out here. An abject horror. Trying to make it away from this one, but Cho'Gall able to chase him down, displacing Picante. Picante actually also getting root, get the double root coming out. Fastfin still in great position to take advantage of this one. He's going to have to end up backing out. That silence coming down from the Stukov. Picante makes it out. Diablo going to be able to come back in. It's about a half-level lead at this point for the side of TNC. Definitely got the structural advantage. They have enough to turn in, as do the side of DRU. The hook coming out onto Slice Blade. He's going to end up getting completely blown up here. And the root also coming out onto LAM. And all of a sudden, TNC looking like they are going to end up dominating this one throughout the early game. They have almost a full level lead at this point. They are going to go ahead and drop a lot of their gems. Flyest Raven holding the key to gaining the Web Weavers. Jin not going to actually go in on that one. Probably wise. Fastfin definitely in range to rotate in on that one with the double root being available. I do definitely like the Malfurion to follow up the Zol. The double root game has been real in this one. And yet again, Caesar Salad going with that the hindering Moonfire, Moon's Grace scouting drone. So looking for the visibility, which can be ever so helpful on this map in terms of trying to interrupt your opponent's turn-ins. Maha! How's it going? What the heck is that? Oh, what am I seeing in my chat right now? Maharu Hi. Okay. Well, hello. Hello to you too. I have a custom emote too. Should I show it to you? Slice Blade rotating down here. LZ Gamer also on the rotation. Sirius, I should say, in some serious trouble. Fastfin though on the rotation back down. LZ Gamer getting completely blown up by the damage there from Cho'Gall. Holy cow. I see Greymane going down as well. The ult's coming out. Level 10 has been achieved here by TNC. Jhin trying to clear in the mid, but the rotation is coming in. These guys got to get out. The retreat pings are real. Big shocker there. You see LAM, Picante trying to rotate around, trying to find the opportunity to safe clear. Fastfin gonna go ahead and dump those coins. Everybody dumping coins, actually. Turning in a whole host of gems. They don't have quite enough to turn in yet, but always good to have that call to dump the gems. So you get into a team fight later. You don't gotta worry about all of them ending up on the floor, because that's not where they go. Not where you want those gems. Scouting drone at 1, plus the vision talent by Cho'Gall as well. Those eyeballs hanging around. Hook not quite landing. Aiming for Slice Blade there, but not quite hitting the mark. You see LZ Gamer going ahead and throwing down the cocoon onto Cho'Gall. They're going to be looking to follow this up here. Cho'Gall's going to try to come out fighting, but the Cursed Bullet going to zone him down. Jhin gets the overpower. The Fastfin is able to make it out with almost no health. Meanwhile, the hook onto LAM, he's going to end up going down. Flyest Raven trying to charge back in, looking for a root on somebody. That ends up being a 1-for-0 exchange. They're able to get Cho'Gall out of that web wrap. I don't know how they did it again. I feel like Malfurion would have been struggling to keep Cho'Gall alive, but just looking at the stats right away, no deaths on the Cho'Gall yet. The only one that's died so far over on the side of TNC is indeed 1 kill onto the Stitches. 9-1 so far. Webweaver's dropping here for the side of TNC. Second Webweaver wave coming out for them. Also achieving level 13 right around the same time. Surprised that they're prioritizing staying in the middle here. Top lane, definitely a priority on this map with the boss. So at this point, Zol pushing in the bottom. I suppose they do have the forts down in the bottom and mid, so prioritizing these lanes over the mid means they're getting that keep front wall pressure. We do see the Cursed Bullet coming out, chunking down Cho'Gall, but Fastfin not going to be intimidated by that, damaging the return damage coming out on the Slice Blade. They are able to get that front wall, but they're going to back up, rotate down to the bottom. Jhin with a huge charge in is going to get rooted. They're trying to make it pay for it, but LAM going to go ahead and swipe him away. Give him a little bit of zoning. LAM also getting hooked. He's going to end up going down here. Huge hook, huge follow-up onto the Stukov. Fastfin very, very low here. However, well, yeah, there it is. He's going to end up going down here. Nice patient play coming out here from the side of Donkeys R Us. Cocoon coming in. The follow-up is going to be there. Sirius is going to end up going down again in this situation. So 3-for-0 there. Well, 3-for-1, I suppose. They did get the Stukov early in that, but staying a little bit too long here is TNC. Donkeys R Us trying to make a comeback here. They have lots and lots of gems in their pockets that they're going to look to dump here. End up turning these puppies in. Waiting for members to come up here is the side of TNC, being very patient here in the laning phase. But the blue web weavers are coming, and they're going to be coming right in onto this mid fort, which already has lost the wall. Nice capitalization here from Donkeys R Us. First bullet coming out right away. Not waiting around for that one. APOC still 30 seconds out, being a factor here. But on the other side, not all the ults are up yet either. Twilight Dream just around the corner here for Caesar Salad, I should say. Poke damage is real as they try to defend this mid fort. They are able to successfully push them off here. LZ Gamer does end up getting hooked. The burrow charge out is not going to be is going to be a little mistimed there, not able to prevent the root, but gets him far enough out to safety at the very least. Fastfin rotating up here. And getting that disengage. LZ Gamer a little off the mark there with that burrow charge. Mostly due to the shove, I imagine. Oh, Sirius though, in a lot of trouble. And here comes the web wrap onto Cho'Gall. The silence coming out of the cocoon. Gonna get pushed into the wall. The CC is real. The blow up is real. And DRU showing us some real coordinated play in the late game here. 3 for nothing in the top. They're going to go ahead and pick up the boss. Easy peasy. Now Zol pushing out that bottom lane. Some nice skeletal minions out, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough. Counter this push in the top, level 16 for both teams. And they do have enough coins. Go ahead and turn in these gems and secure another web weaver wave for the side of DRU. Math is good. No gems now on the side of DRU, but they got the boss pushing in the top. They got web weaver spawning to push out these lanes. And right now all TNC can really do is clear up this boss and look for where they're going to defend next in the back half here. After fairly well dominating the early game, as soon as these level 10s hit, DRU's been on the chase, and they even have a level lead at this point. Sirius missing that hook, almost getting the slice blade. Not quite able to, though. First bullet coming out. Quite hitting the mark, as he would have liked, I think. LZ Gamer getting zoned out by that hammer. And the hook yet again, not quite hitting its mark. They are able to clear the web weaver fairly easily here, but the web weaver is also pushing in the bottom and in the mid. Zol answering to that mid push. And a nice defense here for the side of TNC. Clear out this mid web weaver as well. Oh, and the hook comes down onto LAM, and all of a sudden the engage is real. The swipe not quite enough to zone them all out. LZ Gamer also in a lot of trouble here. They are able to get Caesar Salad out of that web wrap. I'm not sure that's the target that you wanted to really get in the web. APOC coming out to try to zone. Actually will end up finishing off the stitches, but Diablo goes down, and all of a sudden TNC getting a huge team fight. 5 for 1. Diablo coming back. Have the souls to respawn. They are going to be taking their opportunity here, pushing out the top lane. Flyest Raven going to clear that bot and prevent it from getting too much. Don't have stitches here, but so many members down over on the side of Donkeys R Us. They're able to roam around and get some good advantage going here. They also have the turn-in that Zol can go ahead and cap anytime he wants. Have to get Caesar and Fastfin in on the turn-in if they really wanted that. They're going to rotate down Cho'Gall to the bottom, though, to clear that. It's only 3 gems away. But Gul'dan now is back to life, and they have all the members over on the side of DRU. Big, slight level lead here for TNC. Just a little bit of a level lead. Nothing too serious. TNC trying to bring this to a game 3 here. Full slam build coming out from that Stitches. No shocker there. Seen a lot of backlash lately coming out on the Zol. Not looking for that extra sustain, but rather looking for that single target burst damage. Right now, careful rotations here from TNC. They really don't want to be caught out by that web wrap. They want to be the ones to force the end gauges here with the Stitches hooks. They don't want to be engaged upon, and there's plenty for them to clear right now. Trying to get to that 20. They do have, again, a little bit of a level lead. Nice scouting here. Plenty scouting tools for the side of TNC as well. They pretty much know where DRU is on the map most of the time. Both teams roaming around as 5. Well, 4, I suppose, for the side of TNC. LZ Gamer knows what's here, and all of a sudden, with that eyeball, you know he's there too. Level 20. Going to be picked up here for the side of TNC. And the Web Weavers as well. This is the opportunity they have, just a second to push. And you look at the lanes. Bottom lane, really the only lane where they could possibly soak over on the side of Donkeys R Us. All the other lanes are pushed out so far. They can't quite pick up level 20 here. They're a little stunted. But I like the patience. This is where a lot of my Hero League games go awry, ladies and gentlemen. Not doing this. Not being willing to stay back and pick up 20. Very patient play coming out from Donkeys R. They're showing why they are one of the best teams. Good decision making. Definitely a big part of it. We're going to go ahead and get the wave clear in here. There is level 20. Picked up in the mid lane by Picante. But the Web Weaver marching right into this bottom keep. No keeps taken on either side yet, so this is TNC's chance to go ahead and pick up the first one. We do see the web wrap down onto Cho'Gall right away. Stitch is completely blown up here. The damage is real coming down onto the Zol as well. Flyest Raven will fall, and all of a sudden, it's just Cho'Gall and Malfurion. Cho'Gall is going to end up getting focused. Malfurion will be being targeted down by Slice Blade. Caesar Salad will go ahead and mount up and get out, but the damage has already been done. 5-man rotation here. With all of these death timers so long late in this game, they are going to go ahead and start pushing in towards the keep. They're taking some serious keep damage on the other end, though. Caesar Salad also stepping in a little bit too far. Gonna have to back out of this situation. The ice block coming out. But they are going to end up going for the core here, and they do indeed. They have it. There's just no way they're going to be able to defend at this point. Stitch is only up in 5 seconds. And that is going to be the game and the series going over to Donkeys R Us. They're going to move on to play Hold It Down tomorrow night in the semifinals. I think I underestimated the death timers there. Very strong game coming out from DRU. We got to give a lot of credit to these guys. They are just some of the best players that we have in HGC Open. Really like to see exactly how far they go coming out of possibly the Crucible if they continue with their strong play. Looking at talents. Pretty standard builds for the most part. I always like to look at the Stukov's builds because he's kind of a new hero. Kind of like the newest hero we have in this rotation. Mostly going with the Bio Kill Switch talents. On a huge shocker there. Going with the Flailing Swipe and the Controlled Chaos. Was able to get his team out of a couple of sticky situations himself also. But when he got hooked, it was still a lot of trouble. Stukov suffering from not having any real mobility. Can end up getting into some pretty sticky situations there. We saw the Echo Corruption build coming out from Picante. He had quite a lot of damage. Both he and Greymane had excellent numbers. Almost Gaul-like numbers. You know, Gaul also always doing a lot of work. But we got to see the Cho'Gall. Nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of fun on that one. Actually, let's go ahead and update the score here, shall we? PRU going to end up taking this one 2-0 over TNC. Did see the backlash. You know, again, I think the it's interesting. It's interesting to see the backlash becoming more popular than the bone armor at 1. You would think that the survivability would be good, but also, you know, that single target damage to try and focus somebody down, also good. So I've seen a lot of backlash lately. I'm not criticizing it. I just think it's interesting. We did see the scouting drone, Maloon's Grace, and Hindering Moonfire coming out Caesar Salad in both of those games. Good amount of zoning, but I almost wonder how much it's really necessary when we see Cho'Gall also having the ability to scout out. Especially when on this map it's pretty easy to get that Moonfire talent at 1, and the wave clear potential is pretty epic in that full Moonfire build from Malfurion. But also, I think eventually the healing game caught up with them. They had a lot of health over on the side of TNC. I think that served them really well in the early game. The later game, it started to become a struggle to keep their team alive through all of the damage and all of the zoning tools and the CC tools and area denial that Donkeys R Us had. That ended up being most of what caused the trouble for them. But guys, that's definitely going to do it for me tonight. I want to thank everybody for coming out and watching. It was a pretty excellent evening of casting Heroes of the Storm. It's going to be a new thing for me. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be doing the HGC Open Division every Monday night, picking up as many of these games as I can to cast for you guys. So I want to thank you for all the teams that came out and played tonight. Congratulations once again, TNC, making it through so many of those rounds and having a great match there against Donkeys R Us. And we'll see how they can do in the semifinals tomorrow. Moving on to the bigger, better streams. Actually, this one was already on the bigger, better stream, but let's not talk about that right away. But thank you for everybody for coming out. I want to give everyone a reminder. Easy Sunday Morning Hots. It's going to be a new amateur tournament that we're going to be running on Sunday mornings. It's going to be hosted right here on my stream, as well as on our Discord channel. If you guys want to check that out, you can just type exclamation point ESM. I'll actually do that right now, so you guys will see that. So I hope you guys will at least look into checking that out. I got plenty of room for as many as teams want to join. It's completely free. It's going to be a Swiss-style tournament that we're running every Sunday morning. 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time is the registration. Registration and the tournament. Registration end and the tournament will begin at noon. Swiss-style tournament, so you don't just get knocked out in one round. It's not single elimination. Everybody plays every round. And you know, I got to get up early in the morning. As much as I would love to continue playing and maybe move over to StarCraft a little bit, I got to get to work early in the morning tomorrow. So that's going to do it for me tonight, guys. Thank you very much for coming out. I'll see you guys next time for more HGC action, more Heroes of the Storm, and just more Blizzard gaming in general. Have a good night, guys.